coffee cup sailed through the air toward the elderly woman in a faded uniform. In a flash that defied her apparent frailty, her hand shot up, catching it mid-flight. The crowd froze, witnessing the impossible as not a single drop spilled. Golden rays of sunset bathed the small town's war memorial in a solemn glow. American flags fluttered gently in the November breeze as Veterans Day ceremonies prepared to conclude. The marble monument, etched with names of fallen heroes from World War II through Afghanistan, stood as a silent sentinel to sacrifice. Local families gathered on the neatly trimmed lawn, many holding small flags or candles for the evening vigil. The atmosphere was one of quiet reverence. Children speaking in hushed tones, adults standing with respectful posture. Volunteers had arranged folding chairs facing the memorial, where several aging veterans sat proudly, their weathered faces reflecting lives of service. Among them, one particular figure had been invited to stand honorary guard, a position of deep respect on this hallowed day. Margaret Maggie Wilson stood at attention before the memorial, her 76-year-old frame slightly stooped but determined. Her sparse white hair caught the fading light, tucked neatly beneath a simple service cap that had seen better days. Deep lines mapped her face, each wrinkle earned through decades of life's hardships. Her uniform was noticeably worn but meticulously pressed, a plain, outdated army dress uniform without flourish or fanfare. Despite her seemingly fragile appearance, something in her pale blue eyes commanded attention, a quiet dignity born from service. 3 modest medals hung from her chest, a Bronze Star, a Vietnam Service Medal, and a Combat Medical Badge. As a nurse lieutenant in Vietnam, she had saved countless lives while under enemy fire, though few in the gathering crowd knew the full extent of her sacrifices. Her gnarled hands, now clasped around a ceremonial flag, had once expertly extracted shrapnel from wounded soldiers while mortar shells exploded nearby. Families continued arriving for the concluding ceremony, many placing small tokens at the memorial's base. Flowers, photos, handwritten notes to lost loved ones. A middle-aged volunteer guided newcomers to available spaces, occasionally pointing toward Maggie with obvious respect. "That's Lieutenant Wilson," he explained to an interested family, one of the few female combat nurses in her unit during Vietnam. She saved over 30 men during the Tet Offensive alone. Parents gently steered curious children away from approaching too closely, teaching them with whisper instructions about honoring veteran space. An elderly man with a Korean War veteran cap nodded respectfully toward Maggie as he passed. The community band had finished playing patriotic tunes, leaving only the sound of fluttering flags and occasional murmured conversations. Throughout it all, Maggie remained motionless, her eyes fixed forward, honoring through her steadfast presence those whose names were etched in stone before her. Through the respectful crowd pushed Ryan Parker, early 20s, his designer sunglasses perched unnecessarily atop his carefully styled hair. His tight black t-shirt proclaimed Viral King in bold letters, an expensive camera hanging in use around his neck, while he narrated loudly into his smartphone. "What's up, followers? We're crashing the super boring veteran thing to make some actual content." His 3 similarly dressed friends snickered, phones already recording from multiple angles. "Let's get 2 million likes today." Nearby visitors exchanged uncomfortable glances. A mother pulled her young daughter closer. "Yo, check out Grandma playing soldier," Ryan announced, pointing his camera directly at Maggie. Hashtag stolen valor, am I right? No way this old lady was in any war. His followers' comments scrolled rapidly on his live stream as Ryan strutted closer to the memorial area, deliberately disrupting the solemn atmosphere. "Let's see if she's actually a statue or what. Bet she'll totally freak when I get in her face." People began stepping away, creating an uncomfortable bubble around the approaching troublemakers. "Hey, lady soldier," Ryan called out, circling around to position himself in Maggie's line of sight. "Are those real medals, or did you get them at a costume shop?" He turned to his phone. "Seriously, guys, she's like 100 years old. Probably couldn't even lift a rifle." His friends exploded in exaggerated laughter, one of them adding, "Women weren't even in combat roles back then. This is totally fake." A gray-haired man in a Vietnam veteran's cap stepped forward. "That's enough, son. Show some respect," Lieutenant Wilson earned those medals, saving lives under fire. Okay, Boomer, Ryan smirked, completely dismissing him. I'm just creating content here. Freedom of speech and all that. Ryan strutted closer to Maggie, whose expression remained impassive though a slight tightening around her eyes revealed awareness of the disruption. Hey followers, watch this, Ryan continued, voice rising. I bet she's not even real military. Probably just dressed up for attention. He mockingly saluted, intentionally using the wrong hand. How's the retirement home treating you, ma'am? Do they let you play dress up every day or just on special occasions? The crowd's discomfort had transformed into visible anger, yet Maggie remained perfectly composed. Ryan sipped his large iced coffee dramatically, playing to his audience. Guys, she's totally ignoring me. Maybe she's deaf too. Let's wake her up a bit. The Vietnam veteran attempted to intervene again. Young man, that's enough. You need to leave. Or what? Ryan challenged, backing toward Maggie. I've got rights. Besides, if she were real military, she wouldn't just stand there, right? His friends had begun edging backward, sensing they'd gone too far, but Ryan was fully committed to his performance. Time for the grand finale, Ryan announced, turning toward his live stream viewers. Let's see if Grandma Soldier has any real reflexes left. He held up his coffee cup for his audience to see. 3, he shouted, shaking the cup. 2. The crowd gasped as they realized his intention. 1. The cup left his hand in a high arc, brown liquid and ice flying toward Maggie's face and worn uniform. What happened next seemed to defy physics. Maggie's right hand released a ceremonial flag and moved with lightning precision. She caught the cup midair, her motion so smooth and controlled it appeared rehearsed. Not a single drop touched her uniform. The crowd gasped collectively. Ryan's smug expression dissolved into shock. For the first time, Maggie's eyes shifted, locking directly onto Ryan's. The change was subtle yet profound. Her gaze carried the weight of authority that had commanded respect in combat zones. The seemingly frail elderly woman suddenly projected unmistakable strength. That, Maggie spoke, her voice surprisingly strong and steady, will be quite enough. Each word landed with precision, carrying across the now silent gathering. Ryan involuntarily stepped backward, his phone dropping slightly as he confronted the unexpected. His live stream continued capturing everything, but the narrative had dramatically shifted. I was just... Ryan stammered, his bravado evaporating. Maggie's posture remained perfect, her grip on the captured cup firm and controlled. The transformation was remarkable. The elderly woman had revealed the steel beneath her gentle exterior. Young man, Maggie continued, her voice neither raised nor angry, yet carrying unmistakable authority. This uniform represents the service of millions who put duty before self. It is not a costume, and this ceremony is not entertainment. She glanced at the coffee cup, then back to Ryan's increasingly pale face. Your name is on this cup, Ryan Parker, along with your social media handles. How convenient for the authorities. The crowd remained motionless, captivated by her composed dignity. In my 24 years of military service, Maggie continued, I treated wounded soldiers who sacrificed limbs defending the very freedoms you abuse today. Men who would give anything to stand where you stand on their own 2 feet before this memorial. She rotated the cup slightly. This memorial represents real people, sons, daughters, friends, who never return home. Their families don't have the luxury of treating their memory as a joke for online validation. Ryan's friends had completely disappeared into the crowd. His phone continued broadcasting his humiliation to thousands of viewers, comments flooding in with criticism of his behavior. 2 local police officers emerged from the edge of the gathering, having been called by concerned attendees. They approached with professional restraint. Ma'am, the first officer addressed Maggie respectfully. Would you like to press charges for assault? Maggie considered the trembling young man before her. I believe a lesson has been learned today. However, this disruption of a veteran ceremony is a matter for you to address. The second officer took Ryan by the elbow. Sir, we need to discuss disturbing the peace and potential assault charges. Ryan looked desperately around for support, finding none. It was just for content. I didn't mean any disrespect." Scattered voices from the crowd contradicted him immediately. "We have videos of everything." He was mocking her military service. He deliberately threw that coffee at her. The Vietnam veteran who had tried to intervene stepped forward. "Officer, I can provide a statement. This young man has been harassing Lieutenant Wilson and disrupting a federally protected veteran's ceremony for at least 15 minutes. As police escorted a subdued Ryan away, the Vietnam veteran approached Maggie. He stood at attention and offered a crisp salute. "Lieutenant Wilson, 3rd Medical Battalion, 25th Infantry Division?" he asked. Maggie returned the salute with precision that belied her age. "Indeed, April 1968 to September 1969. You treated my squad after Hamburger Hill," he said, voice thick with emotion. "2 of my men are alive today because of you." Nearby parents had begun explaining to their children in hushed tones. "She was a hero," one mother told her wide-eyed daughter. "When others ran from danger, she ran toward to save lives." A teenage girl who had been recording the incident approached hesitantly. "Ma'am, I'm putting this video online, but not like he was. People should see what real strength looks like, not bullying, but standing up with dignity like you did." Throughout the gathering, phones were raised not in mockery but in respect, documenting a powerful moment of honor reclaimed. The interrupted ceremony resumed with renewed significance. As Maggie finally stepped away from her post, attendees lined up to shake her hand. Children offered crayon-drawn thank you cards originally meant for the memorial. Days later, the video had spread worldwide, not as a prank Ryan intended, but as a powerful lesson in respect. Military organizations shared it as a teaching moment. Dignity defeats disrespect. Veterans' response goes viral, headlined major news outlets. Ryan's subsequent apology video received mixed responses, but the incident sparked important conversations about respecting veterans, particularly female service members whose contributions often went unrecognized. Maggie, true to her nature, shunned personal attention. "I simply stood for those who no longer can," she told a local reporter. "This wasn't about me, but about what the uniform represents." Today, when visitors attend Veterans Day ceremonies, many share the story, a reminder that true strength often comes in unexpected packages, and that respect for service transcends generations. If this story of dignity and respect moved you, please share your thoughts in the comments. How have veterans in your life taught you important lessons about honor and service? Your stories matter to our community of respect.